Hey everybody, Ashton here with Gents, coming to you with my top 10 niche and indie list for fall of 2017. Usually I just take the independent releases, combine those with the niche because there are at least a couple indies that I want to include, and they fit in better with niche than designer fragrances. It's actually starting to get a lot cooler here. It's around 60 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It was 80 degrees Fahrenheit like a week ago, so the temperature is just completely bottomed out. Jason Voorhees is in the background. Can you hear that? That's Jason Voorhees. All right, let's get this started. Number 10, Tiziana Terenzi, Ursa. Now, this fragrance has notes of leather, patchouli, dried fruit, and rum, and it gets most often compared to By Kilian Straight to Heaven. And just for the record, this cap is super heavy. You can basically throw this at somebody and kill them if you hit them in the head with it. It's got a really sweet and boozy opening, dries down to a tobacco oud and leather dry down. It's basically By Kilian Straight to Heaven, like I said, but with an animalic twist because of that oud. Great performance on this one. If you're looking for a straight to heaven alternative, see if you can find this at a discounter and pick it up, because for the price, it's a better deal than buying By Kilian Straight to Heaven, in my opinion. In the number 9 slot, we're going to go with 1270 by Frapin. And yeah, I'm running a little bit low on this one. This has notes of pineapple, honey, dried fruit, plum, and resin. This opens up with a really boozy pineapple note with even more sweetness coming from honey. The dry down is a warm, slightly smoky vanilla with cacao and dry woody notes coming in along the base. The longevity on this one is not great. It's not completely terrible, but it's passable. Where it really suffers is projection. The projection on this is very much so on the weak side of things. But as far as boozy fragrances go, this one's a winner. In the number 8 slot, Man-Made 1821 Sweet Tobacco Spirits. This has notes of tobacco, honey, tonka, and vanilla. There's also a wine note according to Fragrantica. Originally, when this came out, it did not have an official tobacco note in the breakdown, but if you check their website now, tobacco is an official note. Oh, no. I dropped it. The opening to this guy is boozy and sweet. It seems to be a common thread right now. The tobacco in this is very much on the honeyed and clean side of things. It's not a smoky, dark tobacco. In the dry down, that one remains boozy and sweet. There's vanilla, tonka, and that tobacco note riding underneath. Number 7, Idole de Lubin by Lubin. The main notes here are rum, ebony wood, and saffron. This bottle is actually the Eau de Parfum. It used to come in an Eau de Toilette concentration, had a different bottle. That one is now discontinued and hard to find. This one is readily available. This one opens up with orange, saffron, lots of rum, and woody tones underneath. The opening is nice, but the dry down is where this really shines. It's smooth and warm with incense, spices, and woods, and a parched leather note. It's fantastic. Number 6, we're going to go with the Diptyque fragrance, Tam Dao. This is the Eau de Toilette. It also comes in an Eau de Parfum concentration. This has notes of sandalwood, cypress, and cedar. It's a woody fragrance. This one gets compared to Gucci Rush, also compared to By Kilian Sacred Wood. Off the top, you get hit with the cedar note. There's some ISO-y super that's definitely readily apparent. There's also cypress note and sandalwood off the top. So like I said, it's very woody. It dries down to a creamy sandalwood. That's the main attraction here. The sandalwood note is very well done, comes across very natural smelling. There's also a rosewood note and a touch of spice. If you're looking for a dry, natural, woody fragrance, you should check this one out. For number 5, we're going to go with Micallef Royal Vintage. This has notes of cypress, leather, and bergamot. This is very similar to a very popular fragrance that you're all pretty much aware of, Creed Aventus. This one opens up a bit like an old school smoky batch of Aventus, only with bergamot in the open instead of pineapple. This one's a very dry fragrance. There's a lot of cypress, a lot of smoke, and a lot of leather in the dry down. Now, it's not a direct clone of Aventus, but when you first spray this on, you will definitely see the similarities. It's right in that same vein. Very versatile, very easy to wear, especially if you like those smokier batches of Aventus. longevity in the 6-hour range. Number 4, we're gonna go with the Creed Royal Oud. This one has cedar, oud, and pink pepper. Realistically, it shouldn't be called Royal Oud. It would be better suited if it were named Royal Cedar. Opening's mainly cedar and pink pepper. This fragrance doesn't really change a whole lot. As it dries down, you do get a little bit of oud in there, but it's overshadowed by the cedar and pink pepper. All that said, this is modern and sophisticated. It smells timeless in my opinion. If you like slightly spicy cedar-based fragrances, just the tiniest touch of oud, and it's not animalic or funky at all, check this one out. All right, we're at the top 3. Number 3, Xerjoff Naxos. And you can tell I will probably need a new bottle of this one before too long, because if you turn it to the side, you can see there's less than half left. Main notes here are honey, tobacco, and tonka. And the easiest way to describe this one, as has been done many times before, is that it's basically a niche version of Pure Havane by Thierry Mugler. It opens up with citrus and lavender. It smells very warm and very rich. And it dries down to a really wonderful sweet tobacco. It's honeyed, there's a touch of spice, and vanilla as well. This is close to being considered the king of sweet tobacco fragrances, so if you haven't smelled this and you like that kind of fragrance, definitely try to get your nose on it. For number 2, we have another indie. This is one of my favorites, Imaginary Authors Cape Heartache. This has the notes on the back of the bottle. The main 3 that you're going to want to be aware of are pine resin, Douglas fir, and strawberry. Now, strawberry and coniferous woods don't necessarily sound like they would go hand in hand, but in this fragrance they work. The open is very much like walking through a coniferous forest with a little bit of smoke in the air. It smells great. Strawberry starts to creep into the fragrance. It sweetens everything up just a touch, but those coniferous woods stay through right to the end. It sounds kind of funny saying it, but it's almost like a sweetened version of the forest floor. That's gonna take me to my number 1 fall niche fragrance for 2017. It's probably not a surprise to some of you out there. It is African Leather by the House of Memo. This has cardamom, saffron, leather, and vetiver. And one thing you'll notice about this fragrance right away is that it concentrates truly more on the spices and the spicy side of this fragrance than it does the leather, even though it's called African Leather. It opens up with a touch of citrus and all those spices I just spoke about, especially the cardamom and the saffron. The leather here takes a back seat to those spices, and this is a clean, refined leather. It's not animalic or dirty at all. There's a small touch of woody oud in the dry down here, but the main star is those spices riding right over top of that clean, refined leather note. For me, super easy to wear, fantastic in cool weather, like right now. All right guys, that is it. Those are my top 10 niche and indie fragrances for fall of 2017. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to wearing. As always, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.